right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, expired tags. Is anyone enforcing registrations? And what's the penalty? We verify.
Weather whiplash from the first freeze to a balmy weekend, when that balmy breeze brings wet weather back to the bi-state.
But first tonight, parents scrambling to make plans after a local school plans to shut down due to evidence of radioactive waste.
It's kind of scary, so I pulled her out today.
From childcare to healthcare, local families feeling overwhelmed and scared. Tonight, teachers at Jana Elementary School have 2 days to get their items out of their classrooms. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Virtual learning begins next week. Our Brent Solomon is live outside the school where some parents are taking their children out of class starting now. Brent?
Well, students and even teachers are set to report to class here in the morning. The school will be open through Friday, but some parents tell me their children won't be back until the school is cleaned up.
For one, we stay right behind the school, the playground. My daughter play on the playground in the summertime, so it's kind of scary, so I pulled her out today.
For Brenda Earl, her 9-year-old daughter London is her world. It's why she's making some tough choices.
The kids gonna keep going until Friday, but my daughter won't.
Even though mom has to work during the day, she, like many other parents, are concerned over reports of radioactive contamination at Jana Elementary.
I couldn't take another day with my daughter being in that school.
She lives directly behind Jana.
You go out my back gate, I'm right on a school playground.
She's not the only one who's worried. We were there as parents and community members packed a school board meeting Tuesday to hear the district's plan to go virtual next week and to redistrict students to other schools next month.
I went to Jana Elementary School with my older brother. I have very fond memories of sitting in the library, and I remember being bored and picking dirt out of my shoes. What I didn't know is I was picking radioactive dirt out of my shoes.
Even those who attended Jana years ago now asking that the district keep them informed.
Why aren't the former students being informed either?
Hazelwood Schools says it will authorize its own study while also looking into quick cleanup solutions.
So what's your biggest concern?
My kid getting sick, me getting sick, because we so close to it.
Tonight, the PTA president tells me some parents and teachers are concerned about the district's plan to send them to other schools. They want school leaders to find a way to keep their community together. Live in North St. Louis County tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
U.S. Senator Josh Hawley sent a letter to President Joe Biden today asking him to declare a federal emergency. He wants federal funding to clean up the site or build a new school in a new location. In a statement, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page said the Department of Public Health is in close contact with the federal agencies responsible for testing and cleanup, and we will continue to closely monitor the situation.
Another cold night across St. Louis, but unlike the last 2 nights, not everyone will dip below freezing. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather first forecast. Scott.
You know, one of the things we've really been watching tonight, those temperatures, again, in some of the outlying areas, it's colder than what we have in town, and there are spots tonight where we're already below freezing, but it won't be as cold as it was this morning. Right now, Salem's 30. This morning, you were down into the teens. It was 17 in Cook Station, 29 right now in Chesterfield. The low this morning was 33 degrees. You see it is 34 right now. Looking down into Arnold, temperatures are cooler in some of the outlying areas, but we're going to see a big turnaround here as we head towards the weekend. Coming up in a few minutes, we're talking about temperatures that are surging for the weekend and also the potential for fire danger across parts of the region, as well as our next opportunity for rain.
Police in East St. Louis are looking for a gunman who randomly fired shots in a neighborhood.
The gunfire hit a driver's pickup and narrowly missed a mail carrier's truck. New tonight, our Robert Townsend has reaction from stunned neighbors.
Gloria Walton couldn't believe it. She says around 11 Wednesday morning, she first heard rapid gunfire down the street from her home in East St. Louis.
It sounded like a machine gun.
She then saw her terrified mail lady running for her life.
She ran back down there by the lights. It was really frightening.
Witnesses told police a man was on foot when he randomly fired at least 30 gunshots at someone in a white car. Police say at the time, the driver headed east on Missouri Avenue near 26th Street. Investigators say 2 bullets hit an innocent driver's pickup and a mail carrier's truck. A neighbor shared these cell phone pictures of the crime scene.
That it was random gunfire and that those vehicles that were passing could have just been caught in the crossfire.
Police say after the shooting, the gunman ran down an alley. And police tell us right now they only have a vague description of the man they're looking for. Meanwhile, people who live in this neighborhood are relieved to hear the mail carrier and truck driver were not hurt.
They ought to be very thankful they survived.
Now you can't really sit on the porch, really, you got to be on your guard.
Police are now on guard for the guy with the gun.
They're processing evidence and also interviewing witnesses, and we are hoping to gain more information for potential surveillance cameras.
I hope so that they will catch him.
In East St. Louis, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tonight, 3 19-year-olds and an 18-year-old are facing federal charges for mail theft. One man is accused of bribing 3 different carriers with money for keys to the boxes in St. Anne, Florissant, and Maryland Heights. 2 men stole from collection boxes in Town and Country. A 4th man allegedly stole nearly 200 business and personal checks from a mailbox.
Just minutes ago, a candlelight vigil wrapped up on the Mizzou campus for a former student who suffered a severe brain injury in a fraternity hazing incident. Today marks 1 year since Danny Santulli suffered alcohol poisoning at the Phi Gamma Delta pledge party. Danny now requires around-the-clock care. His sister, who is a Mizzou senior, organized tonight's vigil. Around a dozen people have been charged in that case. In some areas, the Mississippi River is at record low levels.
Yeah, and tonight the U.S. Coast Guard says these are levels we haven't seen in years. New tonight, our Laura Barczewski talked with experts about the problems this is causing. Laura.
Mike and Ann, while the Mississippi River is normally lower this time of year, the severe lack of rain to keep the river going is now causing some economic issues. The United States Coast Guard says right now in the St. Louis area, the Mississippi River level has dropped to minus 1.88, a level that hasn't been recorded since 2004.
In about a week, we're projected to go to minus 3, which will be about the 25th lowest that it's ever been. The last time in this area that we've seen significantly low water was approximately the 2012-2013 season.
From historic flooding this summer to historic drought this fall, the primary investigator at the Water Institute says this is an indicator of how drastically the climate is changing.
We're going to see more floods like that, and we're going to see more droughts like we're seeing now. But yeah, that was something. That was something, and it really just speaks to the importance of good water management.
U.S. Coast Guard Commander Daniel Every says between the upper Mississippi River and the Illinois River, we see $42 to $60 billion in economic activity, particularly crops that are loaded on barges and sent down the river to New Orleans, where they're shipped worldwide. But hundreds of barges are having trouble getting through.
And when the water is real wide, when the river level is up, they're able to pass each other safely, but in reduced water levels like we have right now, they have to be extra cautious when they are navigating and they meet one another.
That directly impacts your pocketbook.
Food prices are going up. Energy prices might be impacted. It takes more to clean our water. And so those are the implications for people, I think, on a day-to-day basis. And so how do we deal with that? People talk about voting all the time, but really that is where we need to be thinking, and we need to be thinking about the conservation of our freshwater resources.
The Water Institute says right now people need to be thinking about conserving their water. Some things you can do at home include shorter showers and making sure your faucets aren't left running. Mike.
Laura, thanks. A downtown St. Louis hotel will have to pay a former guest $177 million for sexual assault. The assault happened in 2016 at the Hyatt Regency at the Arch. A sheriff's deputy from New Jersey was attending a conference and says a hotel security guard used his master key to enter her room. David White was sentenced to probation after pleading guilty to burglary and misdemeanor sexual abuse. White had previous convictions, and a jury found that Hyatt was responsible for violating its own hiring rules on background checks.
License plate laws. I recently answered 5 on Your Side viewer Jack's question about required front and back plates. Since that Verify aired, several of you emailed me with more license plate questions. The most popular, the legalities, penalties, and enforcement of temporary plates. Let's verify. Here is the question. Is anyone enforcing the time limit on temporary license plates, and what are the penalties? Our sources: the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the Missouri Department of Revenue, the Illinois State Police, and the Illinois Secretary of State's office. When you buy a new car, a temporary license plate allows you to drive it while you title and pay sales tax on that new car and get your permanent license plates. In Illinois, you have 90 days to get this done. In Missouri, you have 30 days. If you do not meet those deadlines and drive with an expired temporary plate, police in both states consider that a primary violation. It's probable cause, and they can pull you over. Spokespersons for both the Missouri State Highway Patrol and Illinois State Police say they do stop drivers and enforce expired registrations. Once you've been pulled over, it's up to the officer's discretion. They can give you a warning, a ticket, and in some cases, the officer can even choose to impound your car. And in Missouri, the financial penalties don't end with police. The Missouri Department of Revenue charges you late fees as time goes on. The max fee is $200, and the DMV will add that to your bill. We can verify. Police enforce expired vehicle registrations. Penalties can range from a verbal warning to a trip to the tow lot. Many of you also asked the Verify team if license plate covers are legal. They are illegal in Illinois. In Missouri, a clear cover is allowed. It's legal, as long as it doesn't take away from the reflectiveness of the plate. What would you like me to verify for you? Send an email, verify@kstk.com.
More money in your paycheck. The new IRS rules providing inflation relief. Who qualifies and what you have to do to get it. Secondhand shopping secrets.
The economy has kind of made thrift stores the new department store.
Not all items are previously owned. Tonight, spotting the best bargains to help you make ends meet.
The cold, dry air moving out of the bi-state region soon. We're looking ahead toward the weekend and timing out our next opportunity for rain.
Tonight, a large warehouse fire fueled by hand sanitizer continues to burn in Oklahoma. At one point, flames shot as high as 200 feet in the air. Authorities say wood pallets containing hand sanitizer caught fire. The state's Department of Environmental Quality was called to the scene. No word on a cause.
With just 20 days to go until the midterm elections, polls show voters are most concerned about the economy and inflation, especially with gas prices back on the rise. Today, President Biden announced he'll release another 15 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The move comes after OPEC announced plans to cut production. Republicans are slamming the president for drawing down the nation's emergency supply to its lowest level in nearly 40 years.
This is a political emergency to the Democrats. That is why he's using it.
It's not politically motivated at all. It's motivated to make sure that I continue to push on what I've been pushing on.
President Biden also urged U.S. energy companies to increase production. A St. Louis company has received $200 million in federal funding to build the country's first large-scale lithium battery manufacturing plant. ICL, which already operates an alternative protein facility in Carondelet, will add 150 professional and union jobs.
The IRS is making adjustments to help provide relief from rapidly rising food and energy costs. The changes involve tax brackets and standard deductions. If your salary did not keep pace with inflation, you may see more money in your paycheck, but you don't have to change anything with your HR department.
They're automatically going to change. There's nothing that you have to do to make that happen. These are the taxes that you're going to pay in 2024. This does not impact the taxes you have to pay in April. This is for the 2023 tax year, for the taxes that you'll pay the next year.
While the new guidelines are for the 2024 tax filings, you could see some effects starting with your January paychecks.
You might have guessed, thrift stores are seeing a big boom right now thanks to inflation.
In fact, some resale experts say the average person saves close to $1,800 a year just by buying secondhand. As Michelle Lee reports, thrift stores are upping their game to get you to buy more and make ends meet.
I love to shop secondhand. These are cute, but they're too big.
What's old is new again.
I'm a big thrifter. I've been thrifting for more than 10 years.
Whether you're a pro like Joanna or you're a novice thrifter, there are some new things that are taking shape at thrift stores like the Salvation Army to get you to buy.
My customers were able to get the best of two worlds.
Richard Vire says you might not know that the Salvation Army is buying new items from big box stores like clothing and furniture and then selling them at a fraction of the cost.
We put it all together, you know exactly what it's going to be like. The economy has kind of made thrift stores the new department store, because here you can find things at a fraction of the cost, no matter what you're looking for.
The secret here? You can learn an item's history by the tags.
This is a $35 coat there, and it's $21.
That red tag attached to the original store tag means it was bought new by Salvation Army to be sold to you at a deep discount. So if it has this tag, then that means you got it, it's brand new.
That's what identifies it to our cashier.
The rest of the tags are color-coded and each week go on deep discount, which means each item cycles through the system in a matter of weeks.
There's so many amazing things that you can purchase, but really after 5 weeks, I mean, we've got to give it to somebody else and give them a shot.
Let me go see over here, actually.
Seasoned shoppers have their own strategies, but shop early and often tend to be a lasting tip.
Even if I'm not looking for something in particular, I always like to look at everything because you may find a treasure.
Another hot tip, some things that don't sell end up going to an auction at an even steeper price. Those auctions in St. Louis are on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. By the way, proceeds help with drug and alcohol rehabilitation services. Back to you.
Tonight, the Sanibel Island Causeway in Florida is back open, less than 3 weeks after it was wiped out by Hurricane Ian. Officials say it took 36,000 work hours to make the repairs and complete the job ahead of schedule. While the repairs are temporary, Florida's governor says reopening the roadway is key to the island's recovery.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us again with the Weather First forecast. Cold tonight, but when we wake up tomorrow, it's going to feel a lot different.
Yeah, you know, we're going to be seeing those temperatures really jump here as we head through the next couple of days. Right now, you're looking at temperatures that vary across the region. Forest Park's 40. You get into some of these spots down towards Pacific and out towards Washington, we're already around or below freezing. And you go down into some of the low valleys here, southwest of St. Louis, and we're already sliding back into the 20s. Now, I will say this, if you've got a trip going somewhere over the next couple of days, weather's looking pretty good for much of the country, so no flight problems, but we're almost to the point of going back to resort-like weather in St. Louis before the end of the weekend into the weekend. 42 right now. Maybe you noticed today a little bit of static electricity, or perhaps your lips a little chapped. Here's why. That dew point, only 18 degrees right now. The air's incredibly dry. This afternoon, the dew point was at 10. 54 our high, 31 for the low. Just a few high thin clouds that are drifting across the region right now. That's it. Not going to see any rain out of that. We'll see a few more high clouds tomorrow. You wake up to temperatures in the coldest spots, low to mid 20s. In town, we're thinking about 35 degrees. You do have a little bit of a breeze tomorrow. It won't be quite as drastic as this morning or yesterday morning as the wind chills go, but still feeling like it's in the upper 20s around the metro area. Outside of the high clouds and a few more of them up the road that'll slide through here at times tomorrow, it's otherwise pretty quiet. In fact, most of the country is pretty quiet. We look to the west and there's not a lot going on. These are the above average temperatures, though, as you go west of us. In LA today, into the mid 90s for highs. We're going to flip the pattern, and so the cold air we've been dealing with is going to scoot out. That warm air out west is coming in, and outside of some high clouds, it's a pretty bright day tomorrow. We will jump from 35 degrees in the morning to around 70 in the afternoon. Only problem, a little bit breezy. Of course, we're still extremely dry. Fire weather conditions are in that critical area from Mount Vernon back through Pinckneyville and heading down towards Perryville. They're heightened around St. Louis. Weekend, you're still looking at a great weekend, especially Saturday. The breeze will become very gusty on Sunday, but we're near 80 degrees. That'll be ahead of this weather system that will swing a band of showers and maybe even some thunderstorms in here during Monday into Tuesday. Bottom line with this as it swings through is it's our best opportunity for seeing rain that we've seen in quite a while, and perhaps a halfway decent amount, maybe a half an inch to upwards of an inch in spots. So your weather first 10 days going out, well, with warmer weather returning to the bi-state area. Get out this weekend and enjoy that. Temperatures around 80. We will trend cooler after that weather system goes through here early in the week. So by Wednesday and Thursday, low 60s, maybe even a few upper 50s. but it doesn't look quite as cold as what we've been dealing with the last couple of days.
For sure. All right, Scott, thank you. Frank is here with sports.
Well, Mike, the Blues are flying in Seattle. Another Cardinal hitting homers in the postseason, and today is the anniversary of one of the biggest homers in Cardinals history. We will relive it. So I was doing my radio show today, and somebody texted in, "Could you talk more about the Blues?" I thought to myself, what can I say? Nothing to talk about. They haven't played in 4 days. Well, the drought ended tonight in Seattle. Midway first period, Jordan Kyrou all alone and just makes it look easy. He needs to be great for the Blues to be great. Later in the period, Braden Shen all alone in front. He fans on the first, scores on the second. Note led it 2-0. 17 seconds later, this is awesome. Shen and Justin Falk with a deft move for the goal, and the Blues right now lead it 3-1 in the second period. What a difference a year makes. On October 19th, 2005, Yadier Molina flied out to end the NLCS. Houston moved on to the World Series in what was the final game played at Busch Memorial Stadium. Fast forward exactly 1 year.
He hits it in the air to left field. Back is Chavez. At the wall. This ball is gone.
Game 7 of the NLCS against the Mets, and Yadi delivers a 2-run 9th-inning home run. It put the Cardinals up 3-1, and they would go on to the World Series where they beat the Tigers. It's Yadi's signature postseason moment at the plate, but as it turns out, he's had a lot of postseason moments. Look at where he plants his flag in the postseason record book. This is amazing. 6th in games, 5th in hits and doubles, and he's even 2nd all-time in singles. Yadi was a man made for October. Game 2, Phillies and Padres, and Matt Vierling is credited with an RBI double in the second as Juan Soto loses the ball. 2-0 Phillies. Nice moment for the CBC kid. Then history. With Dad watching, Austin Nola faces his brother Aaron. It's never happened before in the postseason. Aaron delivers with an RBI single. And even though the fans were going berserk, the family really wasn't. You see the father here? Kind of mixed emotions there. Couldn't even give the high five. Even Aaron, he wants the best for his little brother, I think. San Diego evens the series with an 8-5 victory. The Astros' Justin Verlander is one of the best players of his generation. Harrison Bader is not. In the postseason, though, he's Randy Arozarena. 4th homer in 16 postseason at-bats. The Astros played long ball a little bit later. Chas McCormick, and after that, Gurriel went deep. Houston goes on to win it 4-2. They lead the series 1-0. So there is only one place to be on Friday night. It's 5 on your sideline with Corey Miller. There are a lot of big East-West matchups. Edwardsville is at CBC, and the best team in town, East St. Louis, will be at the Palace on Ballas. And DeSmet has a new coach, John Merritt, who won a state title at John Burroughs. And DeSmet has this rare talent. This young man, Christian Gray, he may be the best cornerback in the state. The Notre Dame commit can also return punts. He's an electrifying athlete. So why was Notre Dame the right place for Christian Gray?
Notre Dame was the place for me. I love the education part, especially the religion part, and I loved everything about it. And it just connected with my family and me and my heart. And God told me to go there, so I picked my decision at Notre Dame.
Christian Gray he's fast, he's athletic, he's talented, he's smart. He makes great plays on the ball. He's a playmaker, and he's a team guy.
Should be a good game on Friday night, and that will do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Make no bones about it, the ghosts and goblins in a Baldwin neighborhood are really doing some good. Tonight, birth rates are up in the United States. So what's behind the baby boom? Economists point to the pandemic's work-from-home revolution. The bump marks the first major reversal in declining fertility rates since 2007.
Holiday shopping on Thanksgiving Day is a thing of the past, so says the CEO of Walmart. The retail chain announced today all stores will be closed this holiday. Target, Kohl's, and Best Buy also plan to be closed on Turkey Day.
Sounds good. A Baldwin family is using their love of Halloween to do some good. The Seebeck family has created a Skele Zoo in their front yard, featuring dozens of skeletons of all kinds. There's also a large QR code to send a donation to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So far, they've raised $75,000. I know, it's amazing. You can check it out on West Run Drive in Baldwin. West Run Drive, so go on by.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Jimmy's guests Margot Robbie and Bobby Moynihan start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.